Okay, this video we're going to take from the previous lesson that we learned about our alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, same side exterior, and our corresponding angles, and we're now going to see what happens when we have lines that are actually parallel. Before they were not parallel. We're also going to be revisiting our linear pair and vertical angles. So to make this video shorter, be prepared to pause whenever we set up an equation and solve on your own. So using this diagram, and given that here, very, very important, line PQ right here is parallel, there's your parallel symbol, to line RS. So you're going to notice these little triangles here. That means parallel. So I don't have to tell you they're parallel if I have those marks there. You know they're parallel by those marks. We're going to, in this table below, we're going to identify the different kind of angle pairs that we have based on what we've learned. We are also going to now decide, are they congruent or are they supplementary? Congruent, they're going to be equal measurements. Supplementary, adding to equal 180 degrees. So we have these different letters here also with our angles, not just angle 1 and 2 or anything like that. So we need to make sure that we're looking at these letters, reading our angles. Let's start off with our angle. I'm going to go ahead and cover this up so we're not getting too distracted with this. AEP, so go to A to E to P. Looking at that, I'm going to do a lot of erasing again here. An angle EFR, from E to F to R, right here. So when we take a look, again, we've got our, how I've taught it, here we've got a car in the middle of the road to identify interior, exterior. We're looking at our transversal. Transversal is line AB. And we're looking at these two angles. We're noticing they're on the same side, not alternate. And we ask, are they interior, exterior? This is where we have that, we have one interior and one exterior. We don't have a same side interior and exterior kind of angle. So this tells you these are corresponding. This first angle is going to be, if you look at it, it's kind of in the top left. Down here, we're at the top left. They are in corresponding or matching positions. So corresponding angles. And I'll be abbreviating these in a minute, just in case you haven't seen my abbreviations. Congruent or supplementary. Are they the same measurement, or do they add to equal 180? And we see they are the same, so we're going to have congruent. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, okay? Sorry. I'm writing too fast. You can't even read my handwriting. Congruent. Take a look at the next pair here. We're looking at angle AEP, so we're sticking right here, and angle QEF. So go from Q to E to F right here. Now, what we need to understand when we're looking at alternate interior, same side, all those things, we're involving two intersections. We need to see here, we are not involving two intersections. We're only involving one intersection. When this happens, we either have a linear pair on a line adjacent, or we have vertical angles across the vertex. Here we're going to see they are not adjacent, they are across the vertex. We have vertical angles. And we have already learned that vertical angles are congruent, and we can see those measurements. Our next set, we're sticking with AEP right here. But now we're going to compare angle AEP with angle PEF right here. Again, guys, we're only dealing with one intersection. Okay, one intersection, either vertical or linear. These are not across the vertex. These are on a line adjacent. Right here, they form a line. Adjacent, on a line, linear pair. And we have learned that linear pairs, and we can see the measurements, are not congruent. They are supplementary. They are going to add to 180 degrees. So there's my abbreviation for supplementary. All right, we're still with angle AEP, and now we're going to compare angle AEP with angle SFB right here. So we are involving both intersections, so that's what we need to ask. On that transversal, are we on the same side, or are we on alternate sides? Crossing that transversal, we're going to see ourselves, we are on alternate sides. And we look at, are we interior to the road, or are we exterior? We're on alternate sides and exterior. So we have alternate exterior. Just do the angle symbol. Looking at our measurements, we're seeing they are congruent. All right, look at that. We're staying with angle AEP. Now we're looking at angle AEP and angle RFB right here. So we're going to see here, looking at our transversal, both of these are on the same side of the transversal, and they are both exterior to the road. Same side, exterior. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. And looking at those measurements, they are not congruent. They add to 180, being supplementary. All right, we're done with angle AEP. We're now going to look at angles PEF. So from P, where's P? To E to F. This angle right here, PEF. And angle EFR. So we go from E to F to R. This angle right here. We're on two different intersections, so we are looking at one of these new ones with the transversal. They are on the same side of the transversal, and they are interior to the road. So we have same side, interior. And looking at those measurements, we are seeing they are not congruent. They are supplementary. We have one more pair to talk about. We have angle PEF, so we're staying here with PEF, the 70 degrees right here, and now we're going to compare that to angle EFS, right here, EFS. So we're looking at that transversal. We are on alternate sides, opposite alternate, and we are interior to the road. So here we have alternate interior angles. Sorry, my paper keeps shifting. And we're seeing the measurements are the same. They're equal, meaning the angles are congruent. So the next section is looking at these. We have all 7 different kinds of angle pairs that we talk about with this unit, and we want to identify right here which pairs are congruent and which pairs are supplementary. So congruent, looking down this list over here, the last column, we have corresponding angles. Next, we have, here's another congruent, vertical angles. On the old one we talked about. Keep going. Our next congruent is your alternate exterior. And I will be abbreviating this as AEA. Next, we have alternate interior angles, or AIA. Now the last 3 are our supplementary. Last column, there's a supplementary. We have a linear pair. Right, next we have same side exterior. Shortened to SSEA, same side exterior angles. And then our last one is that same side interior. And that will be SSIA. Sure shortens it down. So now we need to solve. Again, what's going to happen is we're going to identify what kind of angle pair we have and what that means about their measurements, and then we're going to solve. I will be pausing once we have the equation set up. You will need to pause and solve on your own. So we're going to use this diagram for all 3 of these. We're going to be looking at if the measure of angle the measure of angle 1 is 120, so over here we're going to have to do some erasing, okay? Measure angle 1 is 20. The measure of angle 5 over here is 20x. So first we identify what kind of angles we have, types of angles. So here's our transversal, if you want to draw in your little car in the road. First, alternate or same side of the transversal. We are on alternate sides of the transversal, and as the road, we are exterior. So we're alternate exterior. I'll just go ahead and put this here. When we look at our previous page, we're going to see that our alternate exterior angles were congruent. So these are going to be, when 2 angles are congruent, their measurements are equal. So up here, measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 5. So we're going to set these equal to each other. Please pause. You know what? There's only one step here. I'll just go ahead and do it, and we're only solving for x. Okay, so up here in the problem for all of these, we don't need to substitute back in. We're just going to divide both sides by 20 real quickly, and we're going to find out that your x is going to equal 6. All right, I'm going to erase this information so we can use the same diagram on the next one. We are looking at angle 7 is 4x plus 50. So here, angle 7, 4x plus 50, and angle 6, 4x plus 10. So we wind up with angle 6, 4x plus 10. We're noticing that we will be using one of these new angle relationships with the transversal. We're seeing here with the transversal, we are on the same side, and we are interior to the road. Same side, interior. So down here, I'm going to put SSIA, shorten it up. And we look on our previous page for our same side interior. We're seeing it's here under supplementary. So we need to add these together to equal 180. So real quick, we have the measure of angle 7 plus the measure of angle 6, all equal to 180. Substitute in. Angle 7 is 4x plus 50 plus angle 6, 4x plus 10, equal to 180. Pause the video now. Start with combining your like terms. We should have come out with x equals 15. If not, pause and check where your mistake was made. All right, let's go ahead and get these erased so we can look at our last problem. We're going to be looking at the measure of angle 2 is 3x plus 20. And the measure of angle 8 is 4x plus 10. We are seeing here that we are only involving one intersection. Okay, 2 lines, 1 intersection. We're not using one of these alternate or same sides or corresponding. Here we're going to notice that angles 2 and 8 are one of our old school angles across the vertex vertical. And we, again, either look at previous information that we have learned, or we look at our little cheat sheet here. Vertical angles are underneath congruent. So that means that the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 8. Set them equal. 3x plus 20 equals 4x plus 10. You've got it. Pause the video and solve on your own. And the one thing I did forget down here was, what does this mean about their angles? They are congruent. A few more problems. We're going to use this diagram right here for number 4 and 5. So we take a look here. We want to solve for x, so all we're doing is solving for x. Now it does not have a line to say what kind of angles and if they're supplementary congruent, so we are going to write in. Here we have measure of angle 2, again we're using something erasable so I can erase this per problem, is 80 degrees. The measure of angle 6 over here is 20x. We take a look, here's the interior in our road. We're noticing that angles 2 and 6 are on alternate sides of the transversal interior to the road. So here we have alternate interior angles, and we've learned that alternate interior angles are congruent. So we're going to set the measure of angle 2 equal to the measure of angle 6. 80 equals that 20x. I'm not going to worry about pausing it because all we're doing is solving, and there's only one step. Divide by 20 on this case. So x is going to equal 4. Let's go ahead and get that erased so we can look at the next problem. Number 5, we're going to solve for x. All we're doing is solving for that missing variable. Angle 4 right here is going to be x plus 109. Measure of angle 1 up here is going to be x plus 89. We're noticing that they are on the same side of the transversal. So we have our, well, we don't want to write same side just yet in case it's corresponding. We're on the same side, but they are both exterior. So we have same side exterior, and we learned that these are supplementary. So we need to take the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 1, all equal to 180 degrees. Substitute in for measure of angle 4 was x plus 109, plus the measure of angle 1, x plus 89, all equal to 180. You've got it. Pause that video and solve on your own. Start with your combining like terms. Yes, we should have come out with a negative number. We get -9. So on number 6, for both of these, we have separate diagrams. We're going to not only solve for x, but we are going to determine the angle measures. So we're going to have to substitute in. So first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at this first diagram. We don't have angle names or numbers, but we can see where the measurements are. So looking at our road and our transversal, okay, we're still seeing those parallel markings, right? Our transversal, are we on the same side or are we on alternate sides? We are on the same side of the transversal. We're interior or exterior. Oh, one's interior, one's exterior. Okay, take a look. This one up here, the top intersection is on the bottom right. This one is on the bottom right. We have here corresponding angles, which we learned are congruent. So we're going to set these equal to each other. 23x minus 5 equals 21x plus 5. Go ahead and solve for x. X should have been 5. Now, we want to determine the measurement of each angle. Guys, the angles are both the same. So if you want, we can just go ahead and take this and we can say, all right, let's just substitute in for one of them. Okay, I'm going to remove x. I'm going to put in what x was, the 5. And when we solve for this, the measurement of these angles will end up being 110 degrees. And by all means, please plug it into both of them to check to see if we even solved for x correctly. All right, the next one here, we're going to notice we're not dealing with two intersections. We're only dealing with one, meaning we either have vertical angles or a linear pair. What we're going to notice here is that these are adjacent on a line. So that is our linear pair, which we learned a long time ago are going to be supplementary. So we need to take these and add them to 180. So we have our one angle 80 plus the other angle 11x plus 1, all equal to 180. Go ahead and solve for x. If you'd like to, go ahead and figure out the angle measurement also by substituting in. Find one angle because we already know that this one right here is 80. So we can just take that 11x, substitute in 9, and we're going to find out that this measurement is 100 degrees. Now, in reality, we could have just subtracted 80 from 180. It's 100 degrees. Taken that 180 and subtracted this angle to get what was left over as well, but I wanted to practice substituting in. If you have any questions, please research other YouTube videos, just parallel lines and transversals, or ask your teacher for any help.